Hello, Johnny from Eurogamer here, and today I wanted to talk to you about Middle-earth Shadow of War. Again. See, recently I made two videos about Shadow of War. One was 9 new things in Shadow of War based on the announcement cinematic, and the other, following the gameplay reveal, was 10 things we can't wait to try in Shadow of War. I really enjoyed making them, and I feel like we all learned a lot about what's going on in Shadow of War, but personally I feel like I learned a very important lesson, and that lesson is when you're talking about something even tangentially related to the works of J.R.R. Tolkien, accuracy is everything. As it turns out, I got muddled up about 1 or 2 things in my previous coverage, so, as an act of contrition, here are 5 I think you'll find moments from Middle-earth Shadow of War. Number 1, that's not a drake. So, in my first video I was looking at the fact you can ride drakes around the place, as evidenced by Talion riding a drake in the Mithril Edition statue. Later, moving on to talk about the Wraiths being in Shadow of War, I said this. If the Drakes, the Shrieking, and of course the shout of Wraiths didn't tip you off already, the Nazgul are in Shadow of War in some capacity. Then I put the video live, and this happened.
That is no drake!
Hate to be that guy, but the drakes are called fell beasts.
Those aren't called drakes, idiot. They're fell beasts.
That is not a drake, it's a fell beast, you sacrilegious war horse.
Just stop, they're fell beasts, not drakes. Drakes are baby dragons, Nazguls use fell beasts.
A part of me died when you called a fell beast a drake. Shame. Shame on you.
And there were lots more comments like that. We're talking at least 2 dozen more. And yes, the Nazgul do famously ride fell beasts, on that point you are correct. However, I think you'll find the beasts shown in the trailer and the subsequent gameplay reveal are, in fact, drakes. Let's have a closer look. Wraiths fly in, right? Wraiths land. Now, have a close look at the head of this beast, especially the bony upper portion. Clocked it? Now let's cut to the gameplay reveal and this creature, which is definitely explicitly referred to as a drake. Now, I'd go so far as to say those two things are identical. So, while the Nazgul do indeed ride fell beasts, in this instance, it seems pretty cut and dry they're riding drakes. And now would be a very good time to remind everyone, as if it weren't already abundantly clear, that Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War are considered non-canon, meaning apparently, if they want to stick a wraith on a drake, they can. Number 2, Celebrimbo is the Bright Lord. We're going to skip ahead to the second video now, wherein this happened. Also, did you notice the fact Talion got called Bright Lord? As in, Sauron is the Dark Lord, Talion is the Bright Lord. Talk about elevating his status, that's intense. Some lore purists are really not going to be happy about that. That's an interesting little throwaway observation, thought I. Well done me for being so observant. Whoops.
I want to point out Bright Lord is Celebrimbo's title. Just saying.
Celebrimbo is the Bright Lord. That's been canon forever.
I feel like this guy didn't play the Bright Lord DLC.
Talion is not the Bright Lord. Please, man, get your facts straight.
Shaking my head, why do you guys pick the worst people to do these videos? He wasn't calling Talion the Bright Lord personally. He was referring to the Wraith of Celebrimbor, who he knows is tethered to Talion. But if you'd actually played the first game, you'd know that already.
I mean, I did play the first game, so let's not start pointing fingers, but yes, this is my bad. Celebrimbor is indeed the Bright Lord, while I said in the script it was Talion who was being referred to by that name. I think the juxtaposition between Celebrimbor and Sauron is still interesting, mind you, but I'm willing to concede that was my mistake. I have to say though, it does feel a little bit harsh to be taken to task on this one when Celebrimbor and Talion are fused into the same body, but then more fool me for specifying the wrong half of said body, I suppose. Number 3, they don't have a cave troll. Remember Aslar the Demolisher from the gameplay reveal? How could you not? Not only is he a great orator,
No more talk! Bring war!
he's also moderately flammable. Please, nobody pick me up on that. I know he was covered in tar. Let's just move on. Anyway, in the video 10 things we can't wait to try in Shadow of War, I said Aslar was a cave troll. No, he isn't.
Not to be that guy, but Aslar is an Olokai, not a cave troll.
What makes you think it's a cave troll?
I don't think they are cave trolls, they are Olag High, which are immune to sunlight, unlike the cave and mountain trolls.
Aslar is an Olokai, not a cave troll.
The cave trolls are actually Olog High, a type of troll. Just wanted to say.
Not a cave troll at Olog High. Cave trolls can't stand the sun. Know your Tolkien-darium.
I mean, I didn't even know Tolkien-darium was a word, to be honest, but alright, we'll roll with it, because, to be honest, yeah, this one's all on me. I was straight up wrong about Aslar, may he rest in peace. Of course, I should have twigged that cave trolls aren't smart enough to talk, and they certainly can't survive being out in daylight, and even the most cursory search would have pointed to the fact he is in fact an Oleg High. Good work, commenters, and sorry, Aslar. I hope I didn't besmirch your memory. Too much, at least. Number 4, what is betrayal anyway? Oh dear, we're back to that bit in the video when I was talking about Thrax Stormbringer. Alright. See, while he was talking about having fought and bled for Celebrimbor / Talion, yeah, I'm not making that mistake again, I described the Stormbringer's new position as part of Sauron's forces as a betrayal. A couple of commenters, however, weren't certain if that counts.
It does not really sound like that necromancer was betrayed, rather he died, and since the main character saw no point in taking a dead body with him, he left it. He was resurrected by some dark forces and is now angry.
How exactly do they even betray you? Were they not completely under your control via the branding, e.g. mind control? Loyalty had nothing to do with it, lol. The orc in the video said, "You left me to die, but I was reborn." So the only way for them to betray you, I assume, is if they die fighting for you and magically show up later with edgy new dark powers which counter the brand?
Now, I've read and reread these comments a bunch of times now, and it feels like both Talion and Thrak are being given a pass on the whole betrayal accusation thing. I mean, clearly the Stormbringer does feel betrayed by Celebrimbor. You don't really leave someone's army and then let Sauron graft a big smoking gauntlet to you on a whim. As for saying loyalty had nothing to do with it, well, doesn't it have everything to do with it? Thrak packed up his stuff, crossed the floor, and became a war chief for Sauron, Talion's arch-nemesis. That's kind of the dictionary definition of betrayal. It's a weird dictionary, granted, but it's still the dictionary definition. Number 5, Welsh. Criminy, I just can't stop putting my foot in it with the Oleg High, can I? The Overlord we saw in the gameplay reveal, who I also called a cave troll for the record, appeared in 10 Things We Can't Wait to Try in Shadow of War after I got all excited about him having a Welsh accent. Here's what I said.
You've made a right mess, haven't you?
Now, is it me, or is that troll Welsh? Just me, if the comments are anything to go by.
Welsh, are you tone deaf?
The cave troll really doesn't sound Welsh. I should know.
Alright, yeah, if someone with the username a Welshman tells me I'm wrong about an Oleg High sounding like he's from Wales, then I'm willing to take his word for it. This Oleg High is not a cave troll, and this Oleg High is also not Welsh. Mandarugani.
You've made a right mess, haven't you?
And very finally in this video, I just wanted to give a shout out to this comment, which I thought was very sweet.
Still no Tom Bombadil. Sad face.
I mean, I like Tom Bombadil as much as the next person, but you kind of have to admit he's not the best suited character to an action game about beheading your enemies and taking over vast swathes of territory, even if he can put the One Ring on without any apparent side effects. Give me Tom Bombadil meets Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley though, and I am there. So anyway, there we have it, 5 I think you'll find moments from Middle-earth Shadow of War. Sorry for all the things I got wrong, hopefully this will put them to bed. Although, if anyone still wants to have words about Drakes vs Fellbeasts, I think the logical next step would be to meet up in a car park somewhere and just have a fist fight. If you enjoyed this video, by the way, there are plenty more from Eurogamer on screen now. Do give it a like and consider subscribing if you fancy, but if not, there's no pressure. Either way, have a lovely day.